You've got Stoicism all wrong. Those Instagram quotes with Greek statues telling you to stay calm and carry on. That's not Stoicism. That's denial with a philosophical filter. Real Stoicism isn't about pretending everything's fine while your life falls apart. It's about staring reality in the face, accepting how brutal it can be, and then choosing your response anyway. Today, we're stripping away the feel-good nonsense and getting back to what the ancient Stoics actually taught: that life is harsh, unfair, and full of suffering, and that's exactly why you need to develop the mental toughness to handle it. The modern misunderstanding of Stoicism. Somewhere along the way, Stoicism got turned into a self-help philosophy for people who want to avoid difficult emotions. Modern Stoicism tells you to just think positive thoughts, control your reactions, and everything will be fine. But that's not what Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca were teaching. The real Stoics lived through slavery, plagues, wars, political upheaval, and personal tragedies. They weren't trying to make themselves feel better. They were trying to prepare for the worst. The Instagram philosophy problem, social media Stoicism, gives you bite-sized quotes that sound wise, but miss the entire point. You can't control what happens to you, only how you react. True, but incomplete. The ancient Stoics would add, and what happens to you will probably be terrible, so you'd better get ready. Real Stoicism isn't about staying calm when your coffee order is wrong. It's about maintaining your humanity when your child dies, when your business fails, when your health collapses, when everything you've worked for disappears. The comfort zone isn't Stoic. If your version of Stoicism makes you more comfortable, you're doing it wrong. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, deliberately imagining the worst things that could happen to prepare mentally for them. They didn't avoid harsh realities, they marinated in them. Epictetus told his students to kiss their children goodnight while remembering that they might be dead in the morning. Not to be morbid, but to be honest about the fragility of life and to appreciate what they had while they had it. What reality actually looks like. Let's start with the basics. The Stoics never sugarcoated. You're going to die. Everyone you love is going to die. Most of your plans will fail. Most of your relationships will end. You'll get sick. You'll lose money. You'll be betrayed. You'll face rejection. And you'll experience pain you can't even imagine yet. Your career might collapse overnight. Your health might disappear without warning. The people you trust might abandon you. The systems you depend on might crumble. The future you're planning for might never come. This isn't pessimism, this is probability. And the Stoics believed that facing these realities head-on was the only way to live with any kind of peace or dignity. The universe doesn't care about you. Here's another harsh truth the Stoics embraced. The universe is indifferent to your suffering. Natural disasters don't avoid good people. Cancer doesn't check your character before it strikes. Economic crashes don't spare the hardworking. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world at the time, wrote in his personal journal that he was just a speck of dust in an infinite cosmos that would forget him the moment he died. And he found this liberating, not depressing. When you stop expecting the world to be fair, you stop wasting energy being outraged when it isn't. The Stoic response to harsh reality. So if life is this brutal, what do the Stoics suggest you do about it? 3 things. Accept what you can't control, not passively, not happily, but completely. Fighting reality is like trying to argue with gravity. It's a waste of energy that could be better used elsewhere. Focus completely on what you can control. Your thoughts, your actions, your responses, your character. That's it. Everything else is just weather. Use adversity as training. Every setback, every loss, every painful experience is an opportunity to practice virtue. You don't get stronger by lifting light weights. You don't get mentally tough by avoiding difficulty. The discipline of desire. The Stoics taught something called the discipline of desire. Wanting what you get, not getting what you want. This isn't about becoming a doormat. It's about aligning your expectations with reality instead of fighting a battle you can't win. If you expect life to be easy, fair, and comfortable, you'll spend most of your time disappointed and angry. If you expect it to be difficult, unfair, and uncomfortable, You'll be pleasantly surprised by every good moment and prepared for every bad one. Practical Stoicism for hard times. Here's how to actually practice Stoicism when life gets brutal. Morning reflection on mortality. Start each day by acknowledging that this could be your last day or the last day for anyone you love. This isn't meant to depress you. It's meant to wake you up to what actually matters. When you remember that your time is limited and fragile, you stop wasting it on petty grievances and start investing it in things that have real value. Evening examination of character before bed. Ask yourself, how did I handle today's challenges? Did I respond with virtue, or did I let my emotions control me? Where did I show courage, wisdom, justice, and self-discipline? Where did I fall short? This isn't self-flagellation. It's honest assessment. You can't improve what you don't measure. Negative visualization. Once a week, spend time imagining losing everything you value. Your job, your health, your relationships, your possessions. How would you respond? What would you do? How could you find meaning and purpose even in the worst-case scenario? This exercise builds mental resilience and helps you appreciate what you currently have. The view from above. When you're overwhelmed by a problem, zoom out. Marcus Aurelius would imagine viewing his troubles from the perspective of the cosmos, from space, from eternity, from the point of view of the universe itself. Most of what seems catastrophic in the moment becomes trivial when you change your perspective. Stoicism in the face of real tragedy. The true test of Stoic philosophy is not how you handle minor inconveniences. It's how you respond when life delivers real devastation. When you lose someone you love, the Stoics didn't pretend death was easy or that grief was wrong. They acknowledged that losing someone you care about is one of the most painful experiences humans face. But they also taught that your response to loss is where your character is revealed. You can grieve without being consumed by grief. You can honor the dead without destroying your own life. You can feel pain without letting it define you. When your health fails, illness and physical decline are inevitable parts of the human experience. The Stoics knew this and prepared for it. They didn't waste time asking, "Why me?" because the answer is always, "Why not you?" Your body will betray you eventually. Your job is to maintain your character and dignity regardless of what your body does or does not do. When your plans collapse, everyone's life plan gets destroyed multiple times. The job you trained for disappears. The relationship you invested in ends. The future you were counting on never materializes. Stoics see this as information, not injustice. Plans are hypotheses about the future, not contracts with reality. When they fail, you adapt and make new plans. The strength that comes from facing truth. Here's what happens when you stop pretending everything is fine and start facing reality directly. You become unshakable. When you've mentally prepared for the worst, nothing can catch you completely off guard. You develop what the Stoics called ataraxia, unshakable tranquility based on realistic expectations. Not because bad things won't happen, but because you're ready for them when they do. You appreciate what you have. When you truly understand how fragile everything is, you stop taking good things for granted. Every healthy day becomes a gift. Every moment with people you love becomes precious. Every small pleasure becomes significant. Gratitude is not a practice you have to force. It becomes automatic when you understand how easily everything can disappear. You focus on what matters. When you accept that your time and energy are limited, you stop wasting them on things that don't matter. You become ruthless about protecting what's important and letting go of what isn't. Drama becomes boring. Petty conflicts become irrelevant. Status games become meaningless. What remains is virtue, relationships, and meaningful work. Stoicism versus toxic positivity. There's a crucial difference between Stoicism and the toxic positivity that dominates modern self-help culture. Toxic positivity says, everything happens for a reason. Just think positive, good vibes only. You attract what you think about. Stoicism says, bad things happen for no reason, to good people, all the time. Your job isn't to pretend otherwise, it's to respond with virtue regardless of circumstances. The power of honest pessimism. The Stoics were pessimists with a purpose. They expected the worst so they could be prepared for it, not surprised by it. This wasn't depression, it was strategic thinking. When you're prepared for disaster, you can act with clarity when it strikes instead of being paralyzed by shock. Building anti-fragility through hardship. The Stoics understood something modern psychology has rediscovered. You don't build strength by avoiding stress. You build it by learning to handle progressively greater amounts of stress. Voluntary discomfort, practice. Deliberate discomfort while things are going well. Take cold showers, skip meals occasionally, sleep on the floor, walk in bad weather. This isn't masochism, it's training. When you voluntarily experience minor discomfort, involuntary major discomfort becomes more manageable. Seek out difficult conversations. Don't avoid conflict or difficult emotions. Practice having hard conversations, giving bad news, receiving criticism, and dealing with rejection. These skills atrophy when you don't use them. Embrace failure as education. Every failure teaches you something about reality that success can't. The Stoics valued failure as a more reliable teacher than success because it forces you to confront truth instead of believing your own hype. The freedom that comes from accepting reality. When you stop fighting reality and start working with it, something remarkable happens. You become free. Free from the exhausting need to control things you can't control. Free from the constant disappointment of unmet expectations. Free from the anxiety of trying to prevent the inevitable. This doesn't mean you become passive or apathetic. It means you channel all your energy into the things you can actually influence instead of wasting it on things you can't. The paradox of control. The more you try to control external circumstances, the more powerless you feel. The more you focus on controlling your responses to circumstances, the more powerful you become. You can't control whether you get sick, but you can control how you treat your body. You can't control whether others like you, but you can control whether you act with integrity. You can't control whether you succeed, but you can control whether you give your best effort. Conclusion. The courage to see clearly. Real Stoicism is not about feeling better about life. It's about seeing life clearly and responding with virtue anyway. Life is harsh, unfair, and full of suffering. People you love will die. Your body will fail. Your plans will collapse. Your expectations will be disappointed. This isn't pessimism. It's honesty. And once you accept this honestly, without flinching, without pretending, without looking for silver linings or positive spins, something beautiful happens. You stop wasting energy fighting reality and start using that energy to build something meaningful within reality. The Stoics weren't trying to feel good about life. They were trying to live well despite life. There's a difference, and that difference is everything. Stop pretending everything is fine. Face the harsh truths. Prepare for the worst. Then get up every day and choose to act with courage, wisdom, justice, and self-discipline anyway. That's not just philosophy. That's heroism disguised as ordinary life. What harsh truth have you been avoiding? What reality have you been pretending isn't real? Drop a comment and let's talk about it honestly. And if this perspective challenged you, share it with someone who needs to hear that Stoicism isn't about comfort. It's about character.